And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Wednesday, November 9th. I am Josh Engleman. I'm here to break down either a 12 or a 13 game NBA slate, depending on which site you play on. DraftKings, super normal. They lock at 7 o'clock. This is a 12 gamer. FanDuel, for some strange reason, added in the game that has been moved. So 5:30 lock for FanDuel for the Mavs game. Very annoying, but we're going to handle it either way. So thank you guys for being here. I hope you had a nice day off. I cannot lie. It was exceptional to just have a day of no sports, at least for me, just not waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Not that I don't love doing this show, but sleeping in and just like not having to think about rosters and late swaps and all that stuff. It was nice. I'm ready to be back. I'd be more ready to be back if this were a 12-game slate and not a 13-game slate for me, but I'll take what I can get. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're back again today. Light one tomorrow, unfortunately, but, you know, we're here to talk basketball. We're going to break it all down, every single game. So this feels pretty similar to Monday, honestly. Like, is there really that big of a difference between 13 games and 15 games? No, there's not. So we basically just did this. We're going to do it again. So good morning to everybody that is in chat right now. It's nice to see everybody. I'm ready to get it started. We got a lot to talk about. This is probably going to take us like a full 90 minutes. So thank you for being here. Hit the like button as you get in the door. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at Josh Engleman, by the way. And then you guys know the drill. Coffee's here. Cannot wait to take a sip of this. I want you guys to know that waiting to take my first sip of coffee, which I try to do every single time. There are times where I'll take a sip reflexively, like 20 minutes before the show starts, and I don't even notice. But I try to save my first sip for you guys so that we can cheers together with the hope that maybe that good vibes comes my way, or at least comes your way, you know, when we have everybody here. So I have not taken a sip of this coffee yet. I'm excited to do so now. If you've got a coffee, tea, water, beer, I mean, after yesterday, day off, you could probably go liquor, hit the joint if you want. I mean, certainly a food day if you've got a breakfast Sammy or maybe like a bagel with cream cheese on there. That would be nice. The crunch wrap, obviously looking good. Caleb, you're close. It's close enough to 15. If you got any of that stuff that I just mentioned, feel free to join me now. Rise and grind, everybody. That's what we're here for. Oh, speaking of rise and grind, I went to buy a new pre-workout. I just pick it up at GNC because it's basically like right next to my gym. So don't judge me for that. However, the new pre-workout that I got, flavor, rise and grind. I was like, well, I got to get that one. So I don't even know what it tastes like quite yet, but we'll find out later today. But yeah, rise and grind in the afternoon now. Anyway, rise and grind in the morning. Here we go, everybody. Cheers. Cheers. Let's do this. I'm going to win some money tonight. Oh, it's so good. So good. Wife's got book club tonight. I got nothing but basketball in my mind. Anyway, let's do this. We got to talk BetMGM first. Banner, boom, or boom. Either way. BetMGM, the sponsor. Click the link in the description of this video. You'll get some additional information, but you need to be new to BetMGM. You got to be in a legal betting state. You can get up to a $1,000 risk-free bet. You see that right here. Up to a $1,000 risk-free bet. 2 free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum. Link is in the description. Guys, 2 free months of Stokastic behind the paywall and up to a $1,000 risk-free bet. It really doesn't get any better than that, folks. Take advantage now. If you were ever going to take advantage, now's the time to do it. Let's talk basketball. Dallas Mavericks. Ooh, let's talk switching the view. Let's do this. Let's do this. Now we're good. Dallas Mavericks. 6.5-point favorites in Orlando, 217 total. If you are playing on DraftKings today, you do not need to worry about this game. It is not on the slate. If you're playing on FanDuel, it locks an hour and a half before everything else. I want to put this out there. We haven't looked at the game yet, so obviously something can be different from a value perspective, but Dallas is the slowest team in basketball. They are dead last in pace. Orlando's 15th. This isn't exactly a fast game. I'm hoping everybody just looks awful, and I can basically just uncheck everyone but Luka. Because clearly, like, if you get a Luka lineup, you don't care that the game locks early. You're hoping that he just scores 80 fantasy points and, like, you're off to a great start. But anyway, for Dallas, there's no Christian Wood in this one. He's out with a left knee sprain. Tim Hardaway is questionable. None of that is fun, but it does have a pretty big impact on the team. So, I mean, Dallas really hasn't been missing anyone yet. Like, this will basically be the first game. Tim Hardaway missed one game earlier this season, but pretty much everybody else has been available. So we haven't really seen them have to get into their rotations at all. Feels like we're going to get a little bit more JaVale. So I'm going to go 12 minutes to JaVale. We saw Dwight Powell play 26 and 22 over the past two. Just out of curiosity, why 22? So Dallas won by 2 against Brooklyn. JaVale got that start. Powell played most of the second quarter. Did close as well. I'm going to go 24 to Dwight Powell for right now. Hard to trust it. We actually don't have as much that we need to project as I expected. 32 for Dinwiddie, where I want to be. I got 36 for Luka. Josh Green's minutes are up a bit. We're going to take him up to 18. Hardaway in for 24. Fine. 30 for Bullock. Fine. 33 for DFS. That'll work. So they're probably going to have one person, maybe have one person enter the rotation. I don't really know who that would be. I guess, I mean, Bertans is still out for 3 more games, so they're not going to go that direction. I guess Ntilikina is available now, finally. Let me give him 6 minutes. Now, I don't really think I need to change rates, even though Christian Wood has had such a massive usage rate. But let's at least figure it out. Because I want to make sure that I have a good feeling about this game. Because if I could write it off, that would really help my mindset going into this slate. All right, so Dorian Finney-Smith has played 200 minutes without... how did I make that so much bigger when I wasn't paying attention? Dorian Finney-Smith has played the most minutes without Christian Wood. He's not going to matter at all in this discussion. Luka has a 39% usage rate with Christian Wood off. So, you know, I'm going to assume that he continues to maintain that. Don't think that's going away. Dinwiddie's doesn't really change. Like, nobody really soaks up this additional usage. So I don't really have any other change. I figured I would have changes to make. I don't. I legitimately don't. So I'm just going to leave this as is. We're going to go to Orlando. He might be. Bilal, he might be. That will create a bit more value if Hardaway ends up out. All right, for Orlando, still no Cole Anthony, Fultz, Harris, Isaac, or Mo Wagner. Kevon Harris, questionable. Paolo Banchero, questionable. Clearly, we're projecting Banchero in. If Banchero happens to get ruled out, all hell breaks loose for this team. But for now, This should actually be relatively easy. 33 minutes for Suggs. $22 for Chuma, sure. 34 for Franz, sure. Wendell Carter in at 32. Banchero in for 34. Terrence Ross's minutes went back up. Okay. Bump those back up again. No real other changes. Bowl's minutes are the toughest ones because there's no real sign about how many minutes that dude's going to play. Maybe we go something like... Oh, so Admiral Schofield left the rotation again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they went 10-man. Who's the 10th, though? If it's not Schofield. Oh, Bamba. Got it. Bamba was back. Let's say. That is confusing. Bamba back in there. All right, so Orlando rates are then going to stay the same. The only thing that's going to matter is that status on Banchero. And if Banchero is out, I mean, we're taking a 30% usage guy out of the rotation. That's just going to be very important. So, game number 1. Remember, this is a pain in the ass, but we're going to deal with it. Jalen Suggs on DK at 5,500. Oh, that's it. He's not even on this slate at 5,500. So never mind that. On FanDuel, I don't really care too much about Orlando. On Dallas, I actually do like Doncic. 11-8 for Luka. I am going to get to him. I probably won't get to much Dorian Finney-Smith. Like, I don't see the need to get to the rest of Dallas. There's a decent chance when I run my crunches later tonight around like 5 o'clock, I take everybody out except for Luka. Or like Dorian Finney-Smith or, like the guys that I know are going to play. But that game is ugly. As we expected, that game is ugly. Let's go to the main slate now. At least the main slate for DraftKings. That's going to be Portland. 4.5-point favorites in Charlotte. 220 total. We saw Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons both come back in the last one. Everybody's probable here. Lillard, Simons, Grant, Nurkic, Winslow. Only thing we have a Q tag on is Keon Johnson. One of the only good things about today's slate is that no one is on the back end of a back-to-back, which means everybody has an injury report already loaded, and that's really helpful. All right, so straight away, we're going to go 35 minutes to Dame. We're going to go 35 minutes to Anthony Simons. We're going to go 35 minutes to Josh Hart. 34 minutes to Jeremy Grant. We're going to go 29 minutes to Nurk. The rest of this should fill itself out. Shaedon Sharp's minutes were obviously down quite a bit. Keon Johnson might not play. So we got to give Winslow his 25 minutes. That'll be easy. We're going to say Simons moves down a peg. Shaedon Sharp, we're going to give 16 minutes. Now, the rest of this is pretty simple. We just have to split between... Oh, Trendon Watford's back. Didn't realize that. That's exciting to see. That's another person for this rotation for sure. So we're going to split this. We're going to go 16 minutes. 15 minutes to Watford. And 16 minutes to Drew Eubanks. Ooh, I don't know about Nas Little, too. Nas Little should be in the rotation. I don't know if he will be. We'll see. Christopher, I actually think Ball is back shortly. Maybe like a day or two. I believe he was working out. Maybe I'm wrong. Doesn't matter. We got Portland in. Let's go look at Charlotte. No LaMelo Ball, as we just established. No Gordon Hayward as well. Doubtful tag on Cody Martin. So sort of the same guys we've seen recently. We got Rozier back. DSJ was able to play on the 7th, played 34 minutes. So looks like those minutes didn't go anywhere. So we're going to keep him up at 33. We got Kelly Oubre in for 30. We got Terry Rozier in for 35. Actually, might make that 36. I think I have to. Book Night continued to play 20 minutes. JT Thor played a bit less than you would have expected. Who played minimally? Plumlee, Nick Richards played 46 minutes apiece. That's where I have them, so I don't really have a change to make there. Peach is in for 32. Do something like that. I mean, Charlotte's really easy. Like, we've seen the same sort of rotation for 2 straight games. We know it's going to be a lot of... And look, it's a 13-game slate. Or even 12. Whatever you want to say. Like, we're not looking at the Mason Plumlees and Nick Richards of the world, barring any price breaks. So if you're not projecting somebody for like 26 minutes plus, they're not going to matter today regardless. So like Rozier, Washington, Oubre, Smith, like that's basically the only shots you're going to have to roster anybody from the Hornets. So let's look at Charlotte then. First up, on DK, Rozier and DSJ both look good. 7,800 for Terry Rozier, 6,300 for Dennis Smith Jr. They're both a little over a fantasy point per minute, guys. Rozier slightly better than that. I think they both look really solid on DK for their prices. They're both a little bit more expensive on FanDuel, so no priorities on Charlotte from the FanDuel side. DraftKings, I think you'll see a decent amount of Rozier and DSJ. Back on Portland. Pretty similar story to Charlotte. Everybody sort of looks the same. I think Simons is probably the best option on the DK side. On FanDuel, like $5,800 Hart gets shooting guard small forward. That helps. Nurk looks okay. Dame for $8,500 is always just going to have that sort of I'm going to go crazy ceiling. And against Charlotte, like you certainly wouldn't be surprised to see it. So I don't mind $8,500 Dame. Man, that coffee is hitting the spot today. Very necessary after not having to wake up at 5:10 yesterday. Game number 3. Don't forget to hit that like button, folks. I'm not going to look at the total until we get like 10 minutes ahead. So we're going to go Denver at Indy. The Nuggets are 5.5-point favorites. 235 total. This is the highest total on today's slate. That's going to be very interesting for Nikola Jokic. No doubtful tag on Ish Smith, doubtful tag on Zeke Naji, which means this is standard Denver rotation. 34 minutes for Jokic works for me. DeAndre Jordan as the backup center. Yep. 29 minutes for MPJ. 30 minutes for Aaron Gordon. KCP in for 31. Jamal Murray probably in for 30 now. Christian Brown's minutes are dwindling. Bone Tyland seems like he should be at 22. Bruce Brown in for 25. That works. Jeff Green in for 19. That works. don't really have anybody else that I want to change. But Denver is basically the same rotation that we normally have. This is just going to be standard Denver, which means that I'm going to probably like Jamal Murray quite a bit, and Jokic on FanDuel is probably going to stand out. As we go to Indiana, Q-tag on Aaron Nesmith, obviously no Chris Duarte, so this should be pretty easy. Assuming Nesmith is back, we know that we're going to get like 33 minutes out of Tyrese Halliburton. We know that we're going to get, 33 plus out of Buddy Hield. McConnell's out there. Isaiah Jackson is the backup for Miles Turner. Turner playing, 30 minutes a game, I guess. Jalen Smith played 29. That happened. I'll continue to leave him in for 27. O'Shea Brissett did not see the floor. It ended up being Terry Taylor. Nembhard played massive minutes. So we'll give him a bump. Give Terry Taylor 8 minutes. And we'll call it for Indiana. Now, when we go to see Indiana, lots to like here. Okay. $5,700 Miles Turner on DraftKings looks exceptional. Definitely the best center we've seen so far, and I wouldn't be surprised if he maintains that stance. He's $6,600 on FanDuel. Gets the power forward eligibility, but that extra $900 is important. I would say no one from Indiana is a priority on FanDuel. Jalen Smith and Miles Turner are the two guys I want first. On DK, though, Buddy Hield is $6,400. That's $1,000 cheaper than he is on FanDuel. I think he looks really good on DraftKings. I'd be fine getting to Halliburton. I'd be fine getting to Mathurin at $5,800. Just looks better on DraftKings than he does on FanDuel. But really like the Indiana side of this one on DK. They're going to stand out for most of today. And then on the Denver side, Jokic is 10-7 on FanDuel. That's going to be a very important price to me. Otherwise, I don't really care too much. Murray's $5,900 on FanDuel. Not all that interesting. Nobody's interesting on DraftKings. So that's where we stand so far. I'm going to refresh the tables. FanDuel, I'm going to have all 3 games in. Got to remember, DraftKings won't have that Dallas game in. That's just going to be 2 and 3. So yeah, Miles Turner, very clearly the top play on DraftKings so far. On the FanDuel side, it's Luka and Jokic leading the charge. Like them as pay-up options thus far. Let's go back to the coffee. So good. Utah and Atlanta. The Utah Jazz, 3.5-point underdogs in Atlanta. 226 total. For Utah, Jared Vanderbilt is questionable. Everybody else is available. Akbaji is with the G League team. So for Utah, I don't really think... I mean, we haven't seen Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt didn't play that back-to-back. He didn't play the 6th. He didn't play the 7th. I have to assume that he's playing today, which means that we're not really making changes to this rotation. I'm going to take Markkanen back down to 33 minutes. But I don't really think I have any other changes here. Clarkson and Conley both play 30 or 31. Kelly Olynyk plays like 27. I don't have any other changes that I want to make here. Sexton's up to 28 a game in the past 3. I do need to give him 2 more minutes. We'll take those away from Rudy Gay, I guess. I don't factor in matchup at all. It's already in the raw line, but other than their individual stats, good rebounders will make the other team's rebounding worse and vice versa. But Turner and Jokic have nothing to do with each other in terms of my projections, or I would guess most projections. But yeah, it doesn't matter to me at all that Jokic and Turner play each other. For Atlanta, Let's see, what do we have here? Opposite side of the alphabet. Q tag on Trae Young. Obviously, still no Bogdan Bogdanovic. We didn't see Trae on the 7th. I just assume he's back. We're not going to project it differently. I mean, anybody with a Q tag, unless they've been out forever and we have different data, like just assuming that guy's going to be in. So Trae Young in for 36, DeJounte Murray in for 37. I got to take both of them down a minute. So we're going to make that 35 and 36. 30 minutes for DeAndre Hunter, yes. 32 for John Collins, yes. Clint Capella in for 27, sure. Onyeka Okongwu 21. Everybody else is the same. So no changes here for Atlanta, which means we could look at Atlanta. And, John Collins is 6,100 on DK. That is a price tag that stands out for a power forward center. Trae Young, Clint Capella both look fine. I think Collins is the better play on FanDuel as well. No real priorities here for Atlanta, but you're going to get to Trae Young at 99 for sure if he's in. If Trae Young ends up out, obviously we're going to see some bumps to some of these guys. But I do like the Atlanta side, which we should. I mean, Utah's defense, no matter what they are so far this season, will not be good moving forward. They're only going to get worse. You don't end up having a good defense when you're anchored by Kelly Olynyk or a rookie, no matter how good Walker Kessler can be. And it's not like there's a lot of defensive talent in the rest of this team. The Colin Sexton, Malik Beasleys of the world, Markkanen to a degree is average. For Utah, $5,100 Colin Sexton on DraftKings is the only thing that's really interesting at all. And even that is tepid. I don't have much to say for Utah. Then we go to Detroit. The Pistons are 11.5-point dogs in Boston, 226 total. Doubtful tag on Marvin Bagley, so he's working his way back. Alec Burks is questionable. Not that that should matter all that much. But, he's going to play eventually. That actually might be the end of Corey Joseph if Burks is back. Otherwise, Jaden Ivey in for 31, Cade in for 34, Sadiq Bey in for 32. I got 31. Boyan in for 32. I got 31, whatever. 29 for Beef Stew. Might be too high if Duren is back. With 28-20 there. Easy rotation for Detroit. This is not going to be good for the Pistons. For the Boston side of this one, guessing it's normal. Yeah, other than just got to give Luke Cornett some minutes. In lieu of what I would imagine to be Blake Griffin. But 26 for Derek White. Sort of going down a bit. We're seeing the minutes to Grant Williams go up a hair. So I'm going to take White down to 25. Take Grant Williams up another minute. But 36 for Jaylen Brown, 36 for Jason Tatum. I don't really have any other changes that I want to make there. Honestly, I would put those guys in for 37 if this were more competitive. But I don't think it's going to be competitive. So as we look at Boston, Boston's interesting because of this matchup. I like Brown and I like Tatum. I like Brown more than Tatum on DraftKings and FanDuel. I'm going to like the other pay-up options more than Tatum as well. I think Marcus Smart for 5,800 on DraftKings, 5,600 on FanDuel. I think that price tag is probably best. Derek White is only 4K on DK, so that's interesting. But I think Jaylen Brown is the best play from Boston. 8,400 on DraftKings, 8,300 on FanDuel. On the Detroit side, I can't imagine this looks good other than Cade. Yeah, Cade is 7,500. That's definitely somebody that I'm interested in. He's been at 1.16 FanDuel points per minute so far this season. I got him at 1.22 in this game. I think he actually does project a little bit better than that. But for me, Cade is the best play in this game. I'm going to be going to Cade again. I obviously have been getting to Cade quite a bit so far this season. Oh, man, that was the best sip of coffee I've had so far. Yeah, get yourself some Cade. He's going to be my top play on a couple of these sites, that's for sure. And when I say top play, I mean, I don't think the whole time, but for a while. Yeah, Cade, top of the list so far. I got him a point ahead of Miles Turner. Half point ahead of Luka on FanDuel. Just really like getting to Cade. Buddy Hield on DraftKings also standing out quite a bit here. That's a really nice $6,400 price tag. All right. Knicks and Nets battle for New York supremacy. And we're at 7 o'clock. Yes. So let's see where we're at. Oh, God. See, this one's on me. Because I wasn't asking, we're not close. 215 viewers. Great turnout. It's awesome having 200 plus of you at 7 o'clock. We didn't get to the goal, though. We need to hit that thumbs up. The goal, as always, 100 likes by 7 a.m. We did not get there, but I think that we can. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done it yet. All right, for the Knicks. Still no Mitchell Robinson. Q tag on Quentin Grimes. Don't really think I have much to change here other than moving the Reddish Grimes minutes around. They're going to more Reddish, evidently. They started Jericho Sims, which was something that I did expect. So let's think about this here. I think Jericho Sims is going to play 18 minutes. Is going to limit Isaiah Hartenstein to 26, maybe. So let's do 18 for Toppin. Nah, I feel like I got to give Toppin a little bit more here. I just don't know where they come from. Fournier down to 12 minutes a game. That is an interesting interesting change there for one Evan. I guess I got to go bigger minutes to Reddish. At the very least, I got to take him up to 24. Assuming Grimes, if Grimes plays, then all bets are off. I have 5 minutes to add somewhere. I don't want to make it Grimes because I don't think that makes a ton of sense. So we had Toppin, Sims, Randall, Hartenstein. Play 96 minutes. Okay, so they really are just splitting all of the 4 and 5 minutes between those 4 guys. So for Obi Toppin to get more minutes, they've got to come from Hartenstein. They've got to come from, Jericho Sims. Randall and Toppin played 58 minutes, so they shared the court for 10 minutes. I feel like I need to give him a little bit more playing time. I'm going to take him up to 20. Rates all stay the same. So let's look at the Brooklyn side. For Brooklyn, we don't know the status technically of Ben Simmons. I assume 20 minutes is going to be where he's at. No Yuta Watanabe in this one. Watanabe out with an ankle injury. So definitely need to take Ben Simmons minutes down to 24. 36 for Royce O'Neal. Yes, 37 for KD. Patty Mills just can't seem to find this court. Joe Harris's minutes are up now, but he has been pretty bad. I'm going to take him up to 30 at a minimum. Got Claxton in for 28. Feel comfortable there. Curry's playing 16 minutes a game, so I don't feel comfortable with his minutes at all. Sumner is in for about 20. Royce O'Neal in for 36. Means Cam Thomas has played like 29 in the past 3. We're going straight back to 28 here for Cam Thomas. That really just changes up the scope of everything. And then I guess like David Duke probably plays 7 minutes or something. But that's Brooklyn. See what everybody looks like here. This one can actually be interesting. Okay, KD. KD is 11K on DraftKings, 11-2 on FanDuel. I think Kevin Durant stands out as a pretty interesting DraftKings play. When he is just the only guy out there, that's very interesting to me. After that, I'd say there's not a priority, but like the point per dollar value on Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, Cam Thomas, it looks fine. Just no real priorities. Joe Harris is 3,800 on FanDuel if you think the shot falls. On the Knicks side, maybe $7,200 Randall on FanDuel, given you get the power forward and center eligibility, but there are no Knicks priorities today. Let's go ahead and save that. So we are, 6 games in. 6 games in, so we've got 7 more to go. Thank you for being here. Do we get to 100? We're up to 88 likes. You guys are slacking today. I don't know what it is. Are you guys just rusty from having yesterday off? Is that what's happening here? Let's go to Houston now. The Rockets are 9-point underdogs in Toronto. 224 total. For Houston, no Jae'Sean Tate, no Bruno Fernando, which means this is standard issue rotations for Houston. We've got 34 minutes for KPJ, 33 minutes for Jalen Green, 31 minutes for Eric Gordon, 30 minutes for Jabari Smith, 28 for Şengün, feels about right. Usman Garuba played 19 and 24. Okay, so we got to get him a couple extra minutes. Where are they coming from? Because they're running a 10-man rotation. That's what I have in here right now. Tari Eason in for 17 looks good. Kmart in for 26 looks good. Garrison Matthews, I guess, can come down. Aishan Nix can come down. Then we'll get Garuba to 19. All right. Looking good here for Houston. Rob, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks to everybody for being here. If I kill a show, it's because I've got you guys here, man. You guys keep me in check. Let's look at the Raptors, who, barring any changes, we shouldn't have to worry about for today. Yeah, no Siakam. Everything else is fine. So we know what they do, and we know what their rate changes look like. I got Van Vliet in for 36. I got Trent in for 35. I'm going to make that 34. I got 36 for Anunoby. Got to be 37. A 36 for Scotty Barnes. That I feel okay with. I'm actually going to make that 35. Thad Young plays. Oh, Otto Porter's got to play. So that'll change the minutes up a little bit. Wow, Otto Porter didn't sit out that back-to-back. That's interesting to see. Which means that it wasn't... We're going to get Malachi Flynn's minutes out of there. Get Otto Porter those 8. Loco in for 22. Yes. Boucher in for 20. Yes. Precious Achua in for 18. Let me get Porter to 14. None of those guys are going to matter. So for Toronto, Anunoby, Van Vliet, Barnes, Trent. On DraftKings, we like them all pretty aggressively. Fred Van Vliet, 8,100. To me, the best option. Man, he's up to 8,500 on FanDuel now. I still like him, but that's annoying. I like these guys on FanDuel as well, but every single one of them, Anunoby, Van Vliet, Barnes, Trent, they all look better on DraftKings. Trent is $300 cheaper. Barnes is $1,000 cheaper. Van Vliet's $400 cheaper. OG Anunoby is $1,300 cheaper on DraftKings than he is on FanDuel. If you're playing Toronto, just play them on DraftKings. For Houston, it's Porter and Green, and that's basically it. Şengün, you could take a shot on. I don't love it. And I don't really love Porter and Green all that much either. So that was game number 7. Just as a reference point, let's add everything back in. So Van Vliet jumps to 4th on FanDuel, and he really is in that upper tier. On DK, Anunoby is just outside that tier, but he is 5th overall. So it's Cade and Van Vliet pretty easily 1, 2, and then Turner and Durant 3, 4, with Anunoby coming in 5. He looks really good on DraftKings. All right, game 8, New Orleans Pelicans at the Chicago Bulls. I do feel like the Bulls play every day. I feel like I talk about them constantly. Pelicans are 1.5-point favorites in Chicago, 229 total. On the Pelicans side of this one, it's a Q tag on Larry Nance, which honestly is pretty important. If Nance ends up ruled out, Joval, I need you guys to hear this because it's not going to be something that people talk about a lot today. If Larry Nance gets ruled out, Joval is going to go back to closing. I would imagine go back to closing for the Pels. And that changes Joval's projection from like 25 minutes to like 30 or 31. He would become probably the best center play on today's slate, assuming his price has come down accordingly for where his minutes have been. But if Larry Nance isn't out there closing, I don't think they would go to like a Zion. Like they probably could get away with it against the Bulls. I think Zion could handle Vooch. I don't know. But I would expect Joval to close if Nance isn't around. I guess it's possible they would go to Hayes, but I would be very, very, very surprised. I think Joval would get like a 5 to 6 minute bump. For now, though, I don't really have any other changes I want to make. 34 minutes in for CJ. I'm going to make that 35. I got 35 minutes in for BI. That appears to just be what he's doing. 32 for Herb Jones. Probably a little bit too much. We're going to go 31. Uh, 32 for Zion. That's just what he plays. And then 25-23 split for Joval and Nance is where I'm going to be. A little bit of minutes going to Najee Marshall and Trey Murphy. I'm going to give more minutes to Trey Murphy here in lieu of Marshall. There we go. So that's the Pels. Pelicans probably look good here against Chicago. All right, for the Bulls. Lonzo still out. Drummond, Q-tag. Still no Kobe White. Have we heard anything on Drummond? Let's see. Shoulder injury. I'm going to assume Drummond is back. I mean, he's missed, 6 straight? Yeah. But Drummond just gets those backup center minutes. Asumu maintains the 30 minutes that he has. Dragic gets 16. Caruso gets 26. Honestly, feel like it should be less. Javonte Green probably goes down to 18. Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams minutes go away, sort of. They actually might. 34 for Levine seems fine. Actually, we'll make that 33. Of 19 minutes left. That's actually more minutes than I wanted to have available for Derrick Jones Jr. We'll take Javonte. No, we'll leave Javonte Green there. I'm going to take Patrick Williams back up to 28. I have 34 in for DeMar. That seems fine. I don't really want to go 17 to Derrick Jones. So we'll go 14. Oh, that makes sense. I didn't give 16 to Drummond. We'll give 7 to Derrick Jones. I was like, what in the world? Where are those minutes coming from? That all makes sense now. So rates are also going to stay the same, which means Chicago. And this is a 8 o'clock game. Everything else that we talked about was before 8 o'clock. For Chicago, $7,400 Zach LaVine on DraftKings, $7K Zach LaVine on FanDuel. That's just going to stand out to me forever. He's still been a little over a fantasy point per minute. I like this matchup for him as well, but he's clearly not himself. And then for the Pelicans side, BI and Zion are the only two Pelicans that I think you could roster, and they look almost identical. You cannot play CJ. You cannot play Herb Jones. You can only play Joe Val if Larry Nance ends up out. Game 9. The Phoenix Suns are 2.5-point favorites in Minnesota. 225 total. For Phoenix, what do we know here? Obviously, Cam Johnson out for the extended future. Q-tag on Chris Paul. That is right heel soreness. Obviously didn't make it through all of Monday's game. If you don't see Chris Paul here, like Cam Payne is going to step into a shit ton more minutes. They could go to like Book at the point and go to more like Shamit or Okogie or Damian Lee if they need some scoring. For right now, I don't think that there's a single thing I can change in this rotation. I think we just kind of have to leave it be. Torrey Craig played a little bit more. Cam Payne played a little bit more, but that's obviously because of Chris Paul. I don't think I have anything that I really want to change here, other than maybe bumping up Damian Lee's minutes in lieu of Saric. And maybe we bump up. I think I'm okay here. I mean, they should be going to more Saric at the 5, but maybe this isn't the spot. That's about, it's not really going to matter for the bench guys anyway. So we just kind of need to see what we've got for their starters. On the Minnesota side, is somebody out? No, Rudy Gobert off the injury report. So I need to start this Minnesota rotation over, which is easy. Minnesota's rotation is simple. So D'Angelo Russell, 30 minutes. Rudy Gobert, 32. Karl Anthony Towns, 35. Anthony Edwards, 36. Jordan McLaughlin, I'm just going to say backup 1. Jalen Noel's minutes have now come down once again. We're going to take him to 16. We get Taurean Prince in for his 20. We get Kyle Anderson in for his 20. Got to get Jaden McDaniel in for 24, 26, with 24. Leaves me 9 minutes left over for Naz Reid, I guess. Perfect. Back in business. That is Minnesota. And for Minnesota, the only guy that I'd have any interest in playing is Anthony Edwards. 8,200 on DraftKings, shooting guard, small forward eligibility. 7,400 for Edwards on FanDuel. That's too cheap for Edwards. He has not been great so far this season. Maybe we could dig into that. What has been the deal with Anthony Edwards so far this year? All right, so Edwards, same true shooting, same effective field goal shooting the same at the rim, basically shooting the same from three. Can't make a mid-range shot to save his life. Free throws are down. Offensive rebounds are down. Defensive rebounds up a bit. Not doing anything differently handling the ball. Block rate has gone away. So I wonder if that's just him not being able to get to the rim at all defensively for a help situation. Is he just being lazy? Where are his shots coming from? Gotta let the dog in for the wife. There we go. We back. Gonna have to bring the dog in tomorrow for the show. It is my boxer Riggs is turning 6 tomorrow, so maybe we'll let him say hi to everybody on the show. He'll hate coming in here, but it'll be fine. Yeah, Edwards, man, he's taking he's taking a full less 3 per 75 attempts than he did last year. Nothing that he's shooting is getting assisted the same way. 44% of his shots last year, 38. So he's going into isolation more, which isn't great. He is getting to the rim more frequently, which is good. But in lieu of taking threes, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it for Edwards. On the Phoenix side, no priorities here again. I think Booker and Ayton look the best, but we just need to pay attention here. If Chris Paul ends up out, campaign is 4,300 on DraftKings, 4,600 on FanDuel. Honestly, slightly preemptively priced up. But Payne will undoubtedly look better, as will probably Damian Lee. Like, Damian Lee's almost a value play with Paul in. He's 3,200 shooting guard, small forward. We're going to have a conversation about him if Chris Paul ends up out later today. I assume we're up over 100 now pretty easily. Yep, 106. You guys are the best. Thank you for handling it. Thank you for handling it. 4 games to go now. Milwaukee, 6.5 point favorites in OKC. This one should be pretty simple. Doubtful tag on Drew Holiday, right ankle sprain. So we're going to have to take Drew out, which means we're starting this entire rotation from scratch. No Middleton. Giannis is probable. No Connaughton. No Ingles. So let's think about this Milwaukee team with no Drew. No Drew Holiday. So I assume we're going to get like George Hill, Javon Carter, Grayson Allen, Giannis, Brook Lopez. I don't think they'll go to ultra big lineup. So let's start on the Brook Lopez side. Lopez plays 30 minutes a game, especially with Drew out here. It seems like we get Ibaka for 10, which means that we then get Bobby Portis for, I'm going to say 26. Giannis straight away in for 33. I think George Hill is going to start this game and play 28 minutes. I think Javon Carter is going to start this game and play 30 minutes. I'm going to go 28 here, and I'm going to go 28 to Grayson Allen, and then I'm going to start adding on more minutes to these guys once I realize it. Super chat in the house. Let's go ahead and put that bad boy up on the screen. Scorched Earth Incarnate with the super chat. Smash that like for Josh. Who else up this early working for the people? Nobody in this industry, folks. Nobody in this industry. Scorched Earth Incarnate, thank you very much for that. All right, so we've got most of the real people here. Jordan Nwora plays about 17 minutes a game. We'll put those in. Wes Matthews is like 15 minutes a game. We'll put that in. Marchand Beauchamp has been playing about 15 minutes a game. We'll put him in. So that leaves me 10 extra minutes for everybody else that's left, which means we do have enough to bump up some of these guys. Feels like Javon Carter getting to 30 is pretty easy to do. I'm going to take Beauchamp up to 16. I'm going to take Wes Matthews up to 18. I'm going to take Jordan Nwora up to 18. And I'm going to throw 3 minutes randomly to Sandro Mamukelashvili just to have a spillover. I'm going to strip rates here because this is actually going to matter for Giannis. Surely he is just a beast without Drew as well. So far this season, with Drew Holiday off, Giannis has played 93 minutes with a 37.5% usage rate. I am going to add in last year as well. We're going to say Drew Holiday off, Chris Middleton off. Games where Giannis played. This is going to be massive. Gangrene, good to have you. Oh, damn, we've been going for an hour. There we go. All right, Giannis, 480 minutes with no Middleton and no Drew Holiday on the floor, including last year, 38% usage rate. No reason to suspect that's going anywhere. Bobby Portis gets to like 26. He's going to just be able to take a lot of shots on the second unit. I'm guessing I don't have to touch anybody else's usage rate. Jordan Nwora's like holds on, but I can't begin to care there. Assist rate matters for Giannis, and that's basically it. And he has a massive increase in assist rate. Don't think anybody's going to be surprised with that. George Hills goes up quite a bit. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised with that. Nobody else's really changes. Does Giannis rebound less? Sure doesn't. Sure doesn't. Probably rebounds more somehow. Brook Lopez has only played 62 minutes in these scenarios. That's kind of crazy to think about. Portis actually rebounds quite a bit less. That doesn't surprise me at all. All right, that's Milwaukee. There's going to be some value here by default. That's what happens when you face Oklahoma City. OKC is going to be a team that we're going to basically ignore. There are 3 guys you can roster for Oklahoma City and only 3 guys you could roster for Oklahoma City. That's going to be SGA, Dort, and Giddey. Otherwise, I don't believe that you can trust anybody. Q tag on Poku, so we got to get him back in the rotation. Seems like Aaron Wiggins went from starter to not available to play for this team. I got 29 minutes in for Giddey. I got 34 minutes in for Shea. I'm going to make that 35. I mean, honestly, screw this team. For real. It's just bullshit. It's utter bullshit. It makes it so unappealing to talk about. Oh, just who would care? Who could possibly care about this? You never know who's going to play. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to ever care about someone other than SGA, Giddy, or Dort. TJ Smothers, good to have you here. All right, let's look at this. OKC, yeah. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's 9,100 today. You have to pay attention to that. It's a terrible spot, but otherwise, don't play anybody from Oklahoma City. Maybe Dort, maybe Giddy. Shai on DraftKings is the only priority. For Milwaukee, 11-6 on FanDuel for Giannis looks amazing. Javon Carter is 3,900 on DK, 3,800 on FanDuel. He's going to be the point per dollar person you're looking for here, I think. Because Carter's he's like a 1/10 of a point better than George Hill. George Hill's fine. Portis for 5,900 on FanDuel actually looks all right. But this is mostly Giannis and Carter. Giannis a lot harder to get to at the 12.4 DK price, but 11.6 on FanDuel. I expect him to be my preferred pay-up option. All right, next up, game number 11, Memphis. 6.5-point favorites in San Antonio. 234 total. This is the second highest total on the slate. If Memphis has somebody out today, that could be huge. Q-tag on Steven Adams. We saw Adams sit out the second half of the back-to-back with that ankle injury. I will always assume that Steven Adams, after 2 days off, was just going to be available to play. So I am not changing anything about this rotation. I'm assuming Steven Adams is in. Let's go to the San Antonio side. Or not. Now let's go to the San Antonio side. San Antonio. The Spurs. Q-tag on McBuckets. Zach Collins out for 12 games. So he's going to be out a bit. Romeo Langford back. Blake Wesley obviously out for a while. So Jakob Poeltl, no surprises, still in for his 29 minutes. Backup center, I assume, is going to go to... Well, I would have assumed it was going to be going to Gorgie Dieng, but maybe not. Oh, they have Charles Bassey. Okay. So we're going to give Bassey... Was he the straight backup? Basically. All right, we're going to give Bassey 19 minutes. No, I'm not going to do that. 17 minutes for Charles Bassey. 29 minutes for Trey Jones. 31 minutes for Devin Vassell. That can go up now. Assuming this is... Yeah, we're going to go to 32 on Vassell. Keldon Johnson in for 33. I think I'm fine there. 22 for Jay Rich. Don't really trust it. Don't really know what else I could do there. Roby was basically out of the rotation for Keita Bates-Diop. That's an easy fix. If McBuckets ends up out, we probably get some other random person. Most of this isn't going to matter, is my assumption. All right, San Antonio. Okay. I mean, the value on San Antonio is here. Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Jakob Poeltl, all very solid plays on DK. Poeltl for 6,500 on FanDuel is my favorite FanDuel option. I'll tell you what, FanDuel pricing today has not been all that appealing. There have not been a lot of guys that just jump off the page. DraftKings is a much easier site to play on today. Charles Bassey's flat 3K. That's intriguing. He's a good point per dollar play. You're not going to play him on a day like today, but just it's one of those things. Don't love San Antonio, but there's a lot of like there. And then for Memphis, look, everybody's priced appropriately. Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, both look really nice on DK and FanDuel, but like no aggressive priorities. It's going to be a lot harder to go to Ja Morant given the pricing on some of these other pay-up options. Not that he's not good, because he is. Aldama, Adams, if he's in. Like, if Adams ends up out, then we can free up a little bit of value. We get to, Brandon Clark at 4,500. But for now, nothing crazy. 2 to go, guys. 2 to go. What do we got in here now? 288 viewers, 128 likes. Can we get to 150? I see no reason we can't do it, because now we're about to talk about the Battle of Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Lakers at the Los Angeles Clippers. Spoiler alert, no one's at anybody here. Clippers may be home, but they're obviously both home. For the Lakers, Beverly is available. Lonnie Walker, questionable with an illness. LeBron in. AD in. So we're going to assume that we're getting the full Megillah of everybody, which is what I have in here right now. So I'm guessing Kendrick Nunn goes from not in the rotation, like straight back to where he was, which means that I got to give Patrick Beverly his 28 minutes again. And we got to cut the playing time of somebody. Not Wenyen Gabriel. Not Austin Reeves. Not Juan Toscano Anderson. Who was out? Damian Jones. We need to cut 8 minutes here. Cut Matt Ryan down to 12. 24. 2 and 2. That's going to be the Lakers. Obviously, no one matters aside from like the true pay-up options here. Now we go to the Clippers, the team that I hate almost as much as I hate the Oklahoma City Thunder. Everybody's here. Everybody's available for the Clippers except for Kawhi Leonard. So I'm going to start this rotation from scratch just to try to make it easier in my brain. We're going to go ahead straight out of the gate. We've played 5 straight games for Paul George. He has averaged 38 minutes a game. I cannot go any higher than 37. Marcus Morris in that same time, 36 minutes a game. I cannot go higher than 35. Zubats, 5 straight games, has averaged 32 minutes a game. I cannot go that high. I really don't even want to go to 30, but I'm going to go to 31 on Zoo. That will also allow me to go and let Marcus Morris be the backup here. Somehow Robert Covington is now like not a part of this rotation. Luke Kennard now is back. That's confusing. Terrence Mann seems to be the guy getting those minutes. We need to give Reggie Jackson the 30 minutes a game that he plays. We're going to give John Wall 18. These guys generally don't play alongside each other, barring any craziness. So I'm going to go 30 and 18. And I'm going to assume they don't play alongside each other. And then we get to the more complicated piece of this. So Luke Kennard's minutes, Terrence Mann's minutes. Like, Mann went from... like, Kennard was starting to 9 minutes to... man, I don't trust it. So I'm going to go 24-24 Kennard and Mann straight away. Now, that's not even going to work because of Norm Powell. Norm Powell seems pretty set at the 24-minute mark. I'm going to go 24 to Terrence Mann as well. 11 to Luke Kennard. 12 to Luke Kennard. We still need to give Batum minutes. I hate this team so much. I really do. And then I'm going to give Covington 11. Rates will all stay the same. Screw the Clippers. For real. Screw the Clippers. Unfortunately, we like the Clippers today. Paul George is 9,400 on FanDuel. That price tag is stupid. Stupid. Play Paul George. I like him on DraftKings at 10-2. That's how crazy 9,400 is. Marcus Morris is 5,300 on FanDuel. Gets small forward, power forward. So I clearly like him. Ivica Zubats is only 6,600 on DraftKings. There's not a shortage of centers. Reggie Jackson is 4,500 on FanDuel. He has been truly terrible this season. But unfortunately, I like Reggie Jackson here. Hard not to. For the Lakers, AD continues to be at least a little bit underpriced on the DraftKings side, but now I think he and LeBron are basically equals there. Neither one of them stands out aggressively. Not my favorite pay-up options in the world. Similarly on FanDuel, I think they're both probably AD at 10.5 is a bit overpriced. Bev for 4,300 on FanDuel looks okay. No real priorities from the Lakers. One game to go. Cleveland at Sacramento. Cleveland Cavaliers are 5-point favorites, 225 total. This should look great for Cleveland and really bad for Sacramento. Normal Cleveland rotation here. So I got 35 minutes in for Garland. Seems like he's just going to play 36, so I'm going to give him that minute. Donovan Mitchell appears to be playing 37 minutes a game anyway, so that works. I don't care too much about Isaac Okoro. I don't think that Kevin Love is going to likely play 25 minutes a game, but I am going to give him more playing time. Dean Wade's minutes are not appealing. Chetty's minutes are very not appealing. So let's get 5 more minutes to Kevin Love at the expense of Chetty. LeVert, I'd take up to 32. I don't like that, but I don't have a choice. It should be playing Dean Wade more over Karis LeVert right now, but who knows? Don't really have any other changes that I want to make here. 33 for Mobley, 32 for Jared Allen. I like both of those numbers. Rates stay the same. Let's go to Sacramento. Let's close this one out. Final team here for the Kings. Q-tag on Malik Monk. That is all we have to worry about, which means we're not making a ton of changes here. Fox in for 35 minutes. Sounds good to me. 32 for Kevin Huerter. Yes. 33 for Harrison Barnes. Yes. 30 for Keegan Murray. Sure. 32 for Sabonis. Yes. Everything else just funnels in after that. Rashawn Holmes wasn't a part of the rotation last time out. They went to Metu the past 2 games. I will just go straight to Metu. Trey Lyles' minutes were down. They went to more Terrence Davis. Those are easy switches to make that I don't think actually impact anything. Monk played 30. I mean, that's not happening here. At least I don't expect it to. Don't know where those minutes would even come from. Although, has been playing more the past 3 games. Let's at least get him up to 24. That should be fine. Sacramento. Not a single priority on Sacramento. Everybody, pricing's tough today, guys. We did not see a lot of things that stand out, and I don't see them on Sacramento. Cleveland, on the other hand, has $6,900 Darius Garland on DraftKings. Probably the best play we've seen so far, just given the price. No doubt about it, dude, you got to get to. Mobley and Allen, I think, both look solid. Mitchell, you're going to have a hard time going there with Garland in, but I think Darius Garland on DraftKings, one of the best plays you're going to find today. Now let's run some crunches, folks. Let's run some crunches. Thank you guys for being here. Let's see what this slate looks like. First one up, FanDuel Optimals. What do we got? All right. FanDuel Optimal. We have Cade Cunningham, Reggie Jackson, Marcus Smart, Javon Carter, Giannis, Dylan Brooks, Zion, Evan Mobley, Jakob Poeltl. Not exactly what I expected. That is the optimal lineup by 0.58 right now. Not that I see anything there that surprises me or like, there's just not anything glaring. And we're going to see it here when I run this main crunch. There's just nothing. No, I don't think anybody is just going to stand out. No, they don't. Looks like Anthony Edwards might be that person, but he's even going to tumble a little bit. Anthony Edwards is looking like my top play on the FanDuel side. 7,400 here for Edwards. I mean, this is a guy whose price is down $600 over his past 3 games. Hasn't played great there, but at 7,400, you're looking for 47 fantasy points. Now, if he gets to that 52 like he did here against San Antonio, no reason that can't happen again. Obviously, a Phoenix matchup a little bit more difficult, but he had 42 against Phoenix recently. Played 40 minutes in that one. Shots have just been down these past couple games. You expect him to bring those back up a bit, but I mean, at 7,400, that's just a discount price for Anthony Edwards. That's the time you want to get to him. Because when he has one of these games where he's taking like 12 threes, you get a little bit involved in the steal game. That's where it's at. But look, he didn't pull away. 15.5% here. So Edwards 1, Dylan Brooks 2, Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson, Javon Carter, KPJ, LeBron, John Collins, Cade Cunningham, Brandon Ingram. That is the bottom of the top 10. That's FanDuel, folks. Now we go to DraftKings. Close this bad boy out after an hour and 20 minutes, basically. What do we get on the DK side? DraftKings Optimals. Remember, this is only a 12-gamer. We don't have that Dallas game. Optimal lineup is Cade Cunningham, Fred VanVleet, Benedict Mathurin, Evan Mobley, Dwight Powell, Darius Garland, OG Anunoby, Miles Turner. Dwight Powell is not a name I expected there. 3,100. Did I accidentally give him too many minutes? Wait, Dwight Powell should not be there. He is on Dallas. That game should not be included here. Why is it? Where is that Dallas game hiding? Because I got to pull that out of there. Dallas. Show. All right. Looks like I got to do that manually for right now before this gets corrected. I don't have Dallas in. So that's Dallas. I assume this will get corrected on FC later today. Orlando. All right, there we go. So let's try this now. Optimal with no Dallas included. Derek White, Fred VanVleet. Derek White, how? Mathurin, John Collins, Miles Turner, Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland. That is the optimal by 0.25. Now we look at power rankings. Now, we are going to have a couple people separate here on DraftKings. Salary is just different on DK than it is on FanDuel today. Corey, Dallas was supposed to be in on FanDuel. Gary Trent ranking very highly on DraftKings so far. Has his price come down? I mean, 5,700 is lower for him. He's usually a little bit over that 6 mark. Obviously, a fantastic matchup for Trent against Houston, but Trent, Miles Turner, Darius Garland, John Collins, Fred VanVleet, Jalen Smith, Cade, Buddy Hield, Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson, but Darius Garland wins it out here at the top of the list. Gray Hair Gaming, you nailed it. Turner and Garland should be high, right? Yep, 1 and 2. Number 1 and number 2. Tough slate. I do like that everything locks. Like, there's only 2 late games. There's not the major stagger. It's all 7, 7:30, and 8 o'clock. So you can kind of rest up before that final stretch to 10 a or to 10 p.m. But that's where we're at right now. You'll get contenders videos out of me shortly. Strategy show later today with Adam. That'll be at 9:45 start. And then deeper dive, that'll just be Adam. I will be on live before lock tonight with Eric. So make sure you're watching that one. Let's go big screen. Boop. Another one in the books, folks. Another one in the books. Nembhard, best value on the slate. Absolutely not, Brandon. Absolutely not. Probably shouldn't play him at all. It would be my recommendation. I think that's it, though, guys. Another hour and 20 minutes in the books. Tomorrow is an easy one. I believe there's 2 games. It might be 4. Having trouble remembering. 4. It is 4. It is 4. So 4-game slate tomorrow. Letting everybody know now, I am not playing this slate tomorrow. I'm not on Deeper Dive or Live Before Lock. I am going out to dinner with my wife tomorrow, so I am not going to be around for that one. So we will do a process show, strategy show, all contenders, all that will exist, but I will not be around at lock for tomorrow. So be ready for that. Guys, thank you for joining me here. This has been a fun one. Loved having you. We're back tomorrow for the process because this was the process.